Hello for another installment of discussions from Rafael Negron. Well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the grass being greener and why it's not always the case that it is greener. Now, I have a couple of notes on my phone that I've been taking over the past couple of days. Typically, what I try to do with these videos is I take notes throughout a couple of days and then I sort of combine all of them and I come up with these videos. So, actually, I have a whiteboard right behind the camera that I try to reference sometimes during my talking. But today I'm just going to be reading off my phone. And so, let's just get right into it. So, I have, like I said, literally all these ideas here. So let's talk about why I believe the grass is not always greener. And let me give you some context as to why I'm even making this video. So as some of you may already know, just based on some of the walks that I've done and the talks that I've done on those walks, you know that I'm a software engineer. And in software engineering, there's a big sort of mentality that we need to be job hopping, every year, every 2 years to be able to just continue getting more and more money. And there's this notion that the grass is always green on the other side and there's a lot more than, what we're currently doing. But I have to sort of disagree on that, and that's what I want to talk about today. So, the first point I have here is that money does not necessarily make you happier. Now, I know if you look up this statement, money doesn't make you happier, people will often say that the people that say that are people that are poor or that truly believe that they can't achieve, greatness or be able to make more money easily, right? They're either dependent on, the government or maybe some other system where they are being granted this money, but they're not actually working for the money themselves. There's a famous psychologist called Jordan Peterson that sort of talks about how making more money after a certain point doesn't really make you happier. And really the point at which you can, decide that you're successful and be happy with the amount of money you're making is probably at the point where you can continue to pay all your debts. So as long as you're able to live debt free and pay for groceries, make sure you have a shelter over your head and possibly some disposable income. Any more money after that won't necessarily make you happier. Now, that's not to say that more money can certainly give you material things that you otherwise wouldn't have, but sometimes, those are short term sort of niceties, right? Not things that will give everlasting happiness. And I see this happen a lot. And one of the reasons why, here's a good example. I went to a wedding a couple of weeks ago and I met up with some old colleagues of mine that worked at the company that I currently work at. And after speaking to a lot of them, they were all seemingly happy where they were. And they were sort of, one of them was definitely making a lot more money than I was, but there wasn't anything really in their lives that I noticed was any different than mine. They didn't seem so much happier because of the money that they were making. And in fact, some of them were making close to the amount of money I'm making now, and I've stayed in the same position for the last 6 years. So I think after seeing that, it gave me a new perspective on this whole job hopping thing and the grass being green on the other side, and realizing that maybe I don't really need to make more money. Obviously, I think it's everyone's dream to continue climbing up, whether it be the corporate ladder or with whatever other endeavor they're pursuing, and continue to make more money. But I don't really want that to be your main focus. I think that you should focus probably more on being consistent with the thing that you enjoy doing. And if you get paid to do it, that's awesome. But just keep focusing on the thing, keep building that passion, and more money will generally come from that. But don't also chase money and just think that if I get to this specific number, then all my problems are going to be solved and money will solve all my problems and I will be ultimately happy. There's a lot of things that people, whether they're poor or rich, that they struggle with. Everyone has their own unique problems, and some of them don't even revolve around money a lot of the times. A lot of the times they do, but a lot of times they don't. So this is why I think that money doesn't really make you too much happier. But like I said, I do want to preface that by saying that I think a lot of us want to continue making more money, but it's certainly not my goal to be able to do that. If I do get to that point, that's a side effect of me being consistent and putting in hard work to be able to get there. But it's not the only thing I'm aiming for in my life. And I think that's going to lead into another point that I have on this list. But let's see. So I guess we can talk about this. Improve your life in other ways and don't put all your eggs in one basket. So there are other things that you can do besides, job hopping or worrying so much about going somewhere else where you believe that the grass is greener. There's other things that you can be doing in your life. Maybe you can be improving your relationships. Maybe you can learn a new hobby. Maybe you can get in touch with a friend that you haven't gotten in touch with a long time, right? These are all things that on their own will increase your happiness without you even having to worry about jumping ship and going elsewhere just because you believe that the grass is going to be greener on the other side. There's always a, I don't even know if this is a real quote, but I've always thought to myself, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not really going to think about the amount of money that I made. I mean, it might be something I think about it and I say, hey, I made a lot of money and that's pretty cool. But if I have no friends and if people hate me, I don't have loved ones to look back onto, and I don't feel like I've done something worthwhile, that's certainly not going to feel good, right? No one's really going to remember the amount of money I made. They're not going to say, oh, Raphael, he made so much money. But they might remember the things that I did for them. And they might remember the ways that I tried to impact their lives and make a difference for them, right? The ways that I tried to inspire others maybe or pique someone else's interest to get involved in something. So just another reason to sort of go from that big umbrella of why the grass is not always greener on the other side. Here's another one. You can become an expert in your current role and use that as fuel for more opportunities within the company. So because I've been in my current role for the past 6 years, I have naturally sort of become an expert in what I do. I'm not going to really go into the technicals of what I do at work, but I do a lot of that one thing. And actually, as of today, well, actually, as of last Friday, I'm one of the few that are still, was it even last Friday? It was already 2 weeks ago. That's crazy. I'm one of the few that are left in the company that do this thing. So now I'm in a position where my position has become more critical than ever. And because of that, and if I play my cards right, I can be rewarded even more handsomely, right? So instead of me worrying so much about going somewhere else because I believe the grass is going to be greener, perhaps I should be watering the grass where I currently am to make it the greenest here and not elsewhere. Because even if I could be at the top at my company now, I can go somewhere else and make more money. But when I go to that company, I'm also going to be at the bottom of the totem pole. Even if I join the company with the same title, whatever background, I'm still going to be in the bottom of the totem pole. There's a certain culture at that company. There's a way that they do things that I just can't learn on day one. I'm not going to be as effective as I was in my previous company. So what I do instead, I stay where I am right now. I become an expert and I strategically take opportunities as they come, right? That's a very important thing. It's not about staying where you are and being complacent. It's about staying where you are and being aggressive and being very determined to achieve specific goals. One of my first managers was very effective at climbing the corporate ladder, so much so that I believe he got to a director role within the company, in less than 10 years at a very young age. And that was one of the best things for me as a new employee to have him as a manager because it taught me how to find these unique opportunities and really seize them. So for example, I have been largely an individual contributor at the company I currently work for, which means I just mainly code all day and do some sort of maintaining and design work, but I've been trying to trend into the management role. And I've made it very clear to the other managers that's what I want to do. And I'm able to get there because I've focused so much on this one company. I've really learned how this one company works. And I'm able to continue climbing at this one company because, again, I've picked out unique opportunities and I've seized them. And I think that mostly comes from expertise. There are other people, even apart from the friends I was talking about earlier. There was someone else that he was actually my mentor when I started at the company. He went to another company on the West Coast. I don't really want to name company names here, but he went to a company on the West Coast, and only 3 or 4 months later, he joined the company. He came back to the original company that he left, and I messaged him, and he told me that it wasn't really all that it was meant to be. He actually had more satisfaction working at the original company because of the people, and he just understood the product better. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just money or the perceived idea that it's going to be better because I'm going to be able to have that name on my resume or I'm going to be able to tell people about it. There's just so much more to life than just showing off, your accolades, right? Don't worry so much about what other people think. Just do what you want. So let me see if we have another bullet point here. Okay, if you enjoy your job, the enjoyment will translate to other areas in your life and make it easier for you to grow. Finally, I have don't follow the crowd, which I think we've already covered. But let me talk about this one. If you enjoy your job, the enjoyment will translate to other areas in your life and make it easier for you to grow. So I do realize I'm in a very small percentage of people that actually enjoy going to work. I do wake up and genuinely enjoy waking up early and getting to work and doing my best and just, going through the motions on weekdays, right? Monday to Friday, I do what I have to do, and it's fun. Even on a Monday, obviously, I'm gonna have some days where I'm maybe less inclined to go, right? Obviously, I still go, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy because I'm happy where I am, right? Not complacent. They're two different things. Because I'm happy, I'm able to carry that into other areas of my life. Because I'm not stressed out at work, I can come home and enjoy time with my girlfriend, which will hopefully one day lead to enjoying time with a family. I can pursue other interests in my life, like this YouTube channel, for example. If I was stressed out at work, maybe I can be somewhere else making a lot more money, but I'm going to be working a lot more, making that extra amount of money to the point where I have no free time. Maybe I can't do my exercising anymore. I really enjoy my walking and my running. I enjoy my strength training. I enjoy doing these YouTube videos. I enjoy going on vacation. I enjoy watching movies with my girlfriend. I do know people in the tech industry that don't have time to do those things despite them making so much money. And you can go on YouTube and find so many people that quit their very, very, very high paying jobs for this one reason. So would I take an extra, 30, 40, 50 grand to be in that position? Probably not. Because right now I feel like I'm in a great spot. I'm able to make money that I enjoy making in a job that I enjoy doing, and I also have extra time and energy to be able to devote to other areas of my life because I want to become sort of, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I want to become like a hybrid person. I want to be good at my job, good with family, good with friends, good with just life in general. So, with all that being said, I hope that if you're listening, you took something from this. I just had to make sure the microphone was on. Let me check this other side here. Okay. So, the grass isn't always greener. Okay. If you're happy with what you're currently doing, and again, I want to emphasize not complacency. Don't be complacent because you can be happy and comfortable, but still very strategically continue to climb up and grow. And if that's you, then maybe second guess jumping ship, right? Maybe focus more, water the grass where you currently are, and then see where that takes you. Now, before I end the video, I will say there are some people who are truly in a position where they feel stuck. They're in a rut and they have no idea what else to do than jump ship, right? Maybe join another company, try out something new. And in that case, I would say go for it, right? But I'm speaking to those specifically who are maybe just thinking about jumping ship because their friends did it. They think it's the cool thing to do. They want to follow everyone else. They want to put something on their resume or their LinkedIn because they just think it looks cool. Those are the people I'm talking about. So I hope this video inspired some of you all out there. I would love to hear your thoughts on the grass being greener. Do you think it is always greener in all respects? Do you think it's never greener? Are you happy with what you're currently doing? Let me know. Let's start a discussion. And with that being said, take it easy, and I'll see you all next time. Later.